Hello, my name is Russell Newell, and this video is being produced for the Critical Thinking class at Luther Rice College and Seminary for Professor Russell Crawford. In chapters 1 through 5 of Neil Postman, Amusing Ourselves to Death, the author describes the movement from a typographical America to a peekaboo world, relying heavily on Marshall McLuhan's famous axiom, the medium is the message. For this video presentation, I'll be answering the following questions. What is the meaning of the medium is the message axiom? How should it impact our attitude towards visual media? How should our Christian convictions, in particular our view of God's written revelation, shape this attitude? So to begin with, I will address what is the meaning of the medium of the message axiom and how it impacts our attitudes towards visual media. Neil Postman, in this book, Amusing Ourselves to Death, offers that we have a great variation of tools for communication or conversation that go beyond the spoken word. Communication can take place through every medium of communication, including but not limited to paintings, hieroglyphics, the alphabet, and television. McLuhan's famous axiom, the medium is a message, means that each medium, like language itself, makes possible the unique mode of discourse by providing a new orientation for thought, expression, and for sensibility. Christians need to understand that as this axiom stands by itself, one might confuse a message with a metaphor. A message is a specific, concrete statement, but the forms of media do not in and of themselves make the statements. They only convey it. These media metaphors, merely as Postman puts it, classify the world for us. They sequence it, frame it, enlarge it, reduce it, color it, and argue a case for what the world desires to communicate. As Christians, we must ensure that the truth of the message is always communicated fully despite the method or form to do so. The entire truth needs to be set forth before the people, not just clips of information as with the telegraphy. Anytime information is reorientated by a delivery system, it's vital that the information yield the proper contemplative thought. If you only receive bits of information or slogans, then deeper thought cannot commence. Just because we hear something, read it, watch it, does not mean that everything being conveyed is pure truth. Proper interrogative thought must follow. The problem that started with the telegraph progressed with photographs, elevated with television, and now the epidemic in social media. I think the culture and the church has accepted this as a norm without a second thought. In chapter 3, Postman addresses the typographical mind. In the context of this chapter, the characters seem to focus on the intellect found both in the text and within the people. The text had content that needed to be thought through when read or spoken about. Postman remarked that the long attention span of people during speeches and their strong understanding of the issues of the day made a big difference. I would have to conclude that intellect was content-driven, intellect motivated deep thought, and produced action points that had results. As Christians, we must not yield to intellectual mediocrity or laziness that has captured our culture today. We must be diggers of truth, expositors of text, and move by what we read, mainly the Bible, and take action. We have got to take instant information and take the initiative to get to the truth and complete information. The prize expository of the typograph era has been replaced with quick glimpses of information without content, context, purpose, or relevance. A need for instantaneous information has deeply saturated the Christian faith, and the use of the intellect has been subdued or pushed aside. Postman argues that a peekaboo world gave us a world where an event pops into our consciousness for a moment and then disappears without any pretense, coherence, or sense. It is my opinion that this occurs in the church and within the life of a believer, and has really diminished our saltiness in our world. Now I'll address how our Christian convictions, in particular our view of God's written revelation, shapes this attitude. If the Bible is the final authoritative word for life now and at life after death, then don't you think we need to take the challenge of redeveloping an intellectual mindset that drives us to go deeper in thought, motivates us to investigate the truth claims of the Bible, and then apply them to our lives? We need to be able to intelligently dialogue with people, to proclaim a complete message for God's word, not a watered-down snippet of truth formed in the image of an American society. Will it be easy? By no means, as we have lost so much ground in this area. But it's needed, and we must attend to it now. In this we must stand for truth, for God's glory and his purposes upon the earth, to bring back the use of the intellect, to engage the mind as we read and as we hear and as we gain information from the multiple sources that media offers to us today. We have to take that, but just don't take it as it is, but to filter through it, find what needs to be investigated, and go further with it, so that we, as Christians, can really develop a full view that we can use in our worldview, our biblical worldview, and in life in general. Thank you.